Hello friends, good morning. My name is Akash Khobragade. I am a coordinator at Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge and PhD scholar at Delhi University. Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is founded by Dr. Professor Leela Karunyakara sir, and his idea behind this institution to provide an academic space for professors, doctors and social scientists who are engaged in the field of Dalit studies. Today, Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge going to have its 56th lecture. This lecture is a part of a series that we started on 14th of April 2025 on the occasion of Dr. Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Jayanti 2025. Today, Professor Karunyakara sir going to chair and they are going to deliver the today's lecture. And I'll take pleasure to welcome him and introduce him. Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir is a distinguished academician, former vice and the visionary founder of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, a deeply accomplished scholar. He holds a PhD from prestigious Jawaharlal Nehru University, New Delhi, and author a seminal work, History of Dalit Identity and Modernization of Buddhism. Throughout his illustrious career, Dr. Karunyakara has been an innovator in higher education and social advocacy. He began his teaching journey as assistant professor in School of Ambedkar Studies, Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar University, Central University, Lucknow, where he permanently enriched the curriculum by introducing the pioneer Dalit history course into the MA history program. A staunch champion for institutional equality, he was instrumental in implementing 50% reservation for SC/ST students at BBAU admission. Further strengthened the student and faculty representation by founding Ambedkar University Dalit Student Union in 2000 and Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar Central University SC/ST Teachers Association in 2006. Later he brought his expertise to Mahatma Gandhi Antarashtriya Hindi Vishwavidyalaya, serving with a distinction as a director cum professor at the Babasaheb Ambedkar Sidhu Kanu Murmu Dalit and Tribal Studies Center, as a dean of the School of Culture and ultimately the Vice Chancellor of the University. I welcome Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir for today's lecture. Today, Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir going to deliver his lecture on Annihilation of Caste and is section 17. So I request Professor Dr. sir to please deliver his lecture. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you, Akash. Welcome to all of you to the 56th lecture, I think. This is the 56th lecture of the Dalit Knowledge lecture series conducted by the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. As we know that the main purpose of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge lecture series, the main purpose is that to reconstruct Dalit society on the basis of the three principles given by the Ambedkar. The three principles are liberty, equality, and fraternity. The main purpose of conducting Dalit Knowledge lecture series is that to reconstruct, to rebuild Dalit society on the basis of three principles given by the Babasaheb Bhimrao Ambedkar. The three principles are liberty, equality, and fraternity. When we talk about the liberty, equality, and fraternity, it means there is no caste within the Dalit society. That's number one. Reconstructing, rebuilding Dalit society on the basis of three principles: liberty, equality, and fraternity. That is the mission of every Dalit who is Ambedkarite. So how to reconstruct the Dalit society on the basis of these three principles: liberty, equality, and fraternity. The meaning is that there is no caste within the Dalit society. That's the meaning of liberty, equality, and fraternity. Dalit society, Dalit race is nothing to do with the Varna system. It's nothing to do with the Varna system. That's the most important another condition. The condition number one is that Dalit society is nothing to do with the Varna system. Dalit society is not part of a Varna system. That is the first command. To make Dalit society, to rebuild Dalit society on the basis of liberty, equality, and fraternity. When I talk about Dalit society, if any Adivasi is there in this meeting, they can replace the Dalit society with their own Adivasi society. If any Shudra is there in this meeting, they can replace that Dalit society with a Shudra society. Methodology is same. methodology is the same. Only thing you have to apply whatever the methodology I am talking to rebuild the Dalit society. You have to contextualize that methodology within the Adivasi society and Shudra society. Even Brahmin also can do from his own Brahmin society. Brahmins are there in this meeting. However, since the main idea of the lecture is that to rebuild the Dalit society. So how to rebuild Dalit society? Through the basic principles I said, liberty, equality, fraternity. The fourth pillar is justice. These four together is called democracy. That's a way of life. Ambedkar was talking about the social democracy. Any society should, the people in any society should have their way of life, a democratic way of life. So democracy is a way of life. So Dalit, for every Dalit, the democracy is a way of life. So let us focus on how to rebuild the Dalit society. We always taken by an idea of Indian society, forgetting the historical fact that Indian society is not a singular. Indian society consists of many societies. We need to accept social diversity in India. Are you believing that there is a diversity in India? Tell me, is there anyone not to believe that there is in India? We all believe that there is a diversity in India. When we believe that there is a diversity in India, why we are swayed by or misguided by a narrative that there is a Indian society singular. Indian society is not a singular. Within Indian society, there are many societies. That is the meaning of diversity. Social diversity represents the cultural diversity. When we talk about there is a cultural diversity in India, we talk about unity in diversity. We talk about unity in diversity. So for that, we need to appreciate, not only accept the fact, we need to appreciate the diversity. So in India, there is a diversity. There is a cultural diversity. What does it mean, cultural diversity? It means there is a social diversity. Without social diversity, it can't be a cultural diversity. What does it mean, social diversity? It means there are many societies within the broad Indian society. So when we say Indian society, we should not refer to only that Aryan society. We generally refer, when we talk about Indian society, simply we talk about Varna system. Varna is a system, not a society. See, what is the exact word used in the Sanskrit? Varna Vyavastha. Never it is said that Varna Samaj. Varna Samaj means Varna society. It is talking about system. Varna Vyavastha. Varna is a system. System has to exist somewhere. Where it is exist? It exists in the Aryan society, not outside the Aryan society. Try to understand. And whole Indian society is not an Aryan society. We are misguided by certain narratives that when we say Indian society, we take granted, it's taken granted that whole Indian society is a part of Aryan society or Varna system. No. That's what my whole point. Being a Dalit historian, my whole point is that you talk about the ancient India, you talk about the modern India, but the society, there are many societies. Varna system exists only in Aryan society. There are many societies. Adivasi Indian society, Dalit Indian society, Dravidian Indian society, which is also called Shudra Indian society, and majority of these Shudra Indians are OBCs. So this is the third part. Dalit Indian, Dravidian Indian society, which is the Shudra Indian society, which consists of backward caste, which is the majority population in India. Then what comes? Aryan society. Within Aryan society, there are three sub-societies. Brahmin society, Kshatriya society, Vaishya society. Try to understand. This Adivasi society, Afro-Indian society, Dalit society, Indo-Semitic society. Of course, today we forgot everything about our Semitic culture, our Hebrew culture. But it's a certain fact that our roots are in the Semitic culture, Hebrew culture. So Dalit society. Then comes Dravidian society. It's a Elamite society, actually, Indo-Elamites, these Dravidians. That's a Shudra society. Then comes to the Aryan society, Mongolian society, northeastern people, Indo-Mongolians, Mongolian society. Then comes to the Aryan society. In Aryan society, there is a Trivarna society. Trivarna system. Trivarna system. Varna system. In Varna system, there are two kinds of Varna system. Try to understand. There are two kinds of Varna system. We talk about Chaturvarna system. When we talk about Varna, it refers to Chaturvarna. But before the existence of Chaturvarna, there was a Trivarna system. Trivarna means, who are these Trivarna? Today we used to call that, Savarna we used to call. These whom we are referring to, Savarna, these are Trivarna people only. These Trivarna people are Savarna people. I don't know how this Savarna word has come. Ambedkar never used the term Savarna. He used the term caste Hindu. He never used the term Savarna. So vocabulary, try to understand, the whole battle is not on the road. Whole battle is an intellectual battle. We need to create our intellectual capital to rebuild the Dalit society. Adivasi have to create intellectual capital. Shudras have to create intellectual capital. How to create intellectual capital? Intellectual capital is the main foundation of any society. You may become a billionaire. You may become a doctor, engineer, anything. But finally, ultimately, what is the basis of any society? It is the intellectual capital. That is the basis of society. A society which has no intellectual capital, naturally it becomes servant to the another society which has an intellectual capital. Brahmin society is the most strongest society as far as intellectual capital is concerned. Next strongest society after the Brahmins in India, which society is the most strongest intellectual capital which has? Dalit society. And this is the case right from the beginning, ancient period. That is the reason why Dalits have been made, untouchables. Because Dalit society, when you have your own intellectual capital, it means you have your own intellectual class. And intellectual capital that creates social capital. Means it reconstructs the society. Social capital means having your own society. Reconstructing, social house, social family. We have our own house, personal house. We have an address. Somewhere else is our personal house. Nagpur, Mankapur, so and so person has a house. That's a personal house. Hyderabad, Jubilee Hills, you have a house. That's a personal house. What about the social house? That's a society. Who will construct the social house? Intellectual class construct the social house. How do you construct the social house? If you want to construct your personal house, you need a finances, capital, economic capital you need. But if you want to construct a social house, what do you need? You need an intellectual capital. To create a social capital, society is a social capital. Means social house is your social capital. To create a social capital, you need to have intellectual capital. So by investing in intellectual capital, you can construct the social capital. You can create the social capital. Means you can construct your own social house. That's your own society. Since Dalit society is weak, we depend on other people. Why you always accuse that many Dalits they are doing a chamcha, they are becoming spoons, they are becoming the agents of non-Dalits. We are electing our own representatives, but they are becoming the slaves of non-Dalits. We used to say, that's fine. That's an allegation. That's a complaint. How long we keep on complaining? We have to go to the root cause. Why it is happening? The root cause is that our society is weak. When our society is weak, or we virtually don't have a society, we are on the platform we were residing. We don't have a space in the social world to have our own society. So who is the responsible? We are the responsible because we are unable to create intellectual capital. By creating intellectual capital, we can create a social capital. Means we can reconstruct our own society. A society is our social home. We are all busy of constructing our own personal homes. Yes, we need to have our personal homes. What do you do in the personal home? You go and sleep there. You have your own family members. You have your wife, your children, your family members, your parents. But once you step out of your house, you are entering into the society. But you don't have your own society. So then what happens? You depend on other societies. You depend on Brahmin society, Shudra society, other societies for your own help, social help. So how to reconstruct a society? Society is our social family. As long as our society is weak, naturally, majority of the people in our society depend on other people, other societies. Then they have to listen to the other people. So the root cause is that if you don't want many people to depend on others, if you don't want our own representatives to listen to us, we need to reconstruct our society. To reconstruct our society, first we have to do is that first step is to create our own intellectual class. Without intellectual capital, you cannot create a social capital. So how to create intellectual capital? That's the first question. Our aim is our people should not become agents of non-Dalits. If that is the case, you have to create our own society. If you want to strengthen our society, who will strengthen? Who will construct our society strongly? Who will found the strong foundations for our society? It's an intellectual class. That's the intellectual capital. So how to create intellectual class? How to create intellectual capital? By establishing academic institution, intellectual institution. Look, if you want an engineer, how do you create engineer? You need to have a engineering colleges, engineering institutions. Without engineering college, without engineering institution, can you produce engineer? Tell me, can you produce engineer? Why government establishes many IITs, engineering institution, IITs, Indian Institute of Technology. The topmost engineering colleges are IITs. In India, what is the topmost? Everybody, JEE exam they write. Day and night they work. The toughest exam. After intermediate, those who want to become engineer and they want to study in it's a dream for every the student who has a good mathematics background. It's a dream for everyone to become a student of IIT, Indian Institute of Technology. What is this institute? This is the institute that produces engineers. So without engineering institute, without IIT, you cannot have a top rank highly qualified engineers in the country. Without medical colleges, All India Institute of Medical Sciences, that's a topmost medical college. The topmost engineering colleges are in India, IITs, Indian Institute of Technology. The topmost medical colleges in India is called AIIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences. Everybody eager to join All India Institute of Medical Sciences for their medical degree, MBBS, MD. So without IIT, you cannot have an engineer. Without Indian Institute of Technology, that's a engineering institute, you cannot have engineer. Without All India Institute of Medical Sciences, that's a medical institute, you cannot have a medical expert, the doctors. Same is the case with the intellectuals, social scientists who construct the society. Where is the highest social institute in India? Tell me, is there any social sciences institute which is equivalent to AIIMS and IIT? No. Even you have a law colleges, Central Law Institute in Bangalore, Nalsar in Hyderabad, the topmost law institutes. Everyone who want to become a lawyer want to study in these topmost law institutes. But to construct the society, to rebuild the society, We need social scientists. Where is the Social Science Institute? No. Everybody look at the JNU. But JNU also has the sciences. JNU also has the technology. JNU also has the languages. Few departments of JNU are very well known, like history, where Romila Thapar, Bipin Chandra, Urban Spikia worked, the topmost historians. We have a sociology, where T.K. Woman, K.L. Sharma, Deepankar Gupta. Now we have our own Dalit sociology, and the great Dalit sociologist Nanduram, Professor Nanduram. Now we have my own generation sociologist, Professor Vivek Kumar, in sociology. History, we have Professor Chinnarav is there. He's in social exclusion. However, he is basically historian. And we have a Professor Aloni in JNU. And political science department also there in JNU. We have Professor Narendra Kumar. I'm talking about JNU only. There are many professors. In Delhi University, there are many professors. Professor Sukumar is there. Professor Rajkumar is there, Dayal Singh College. But my point is that, is there any institute like AIMS, All India Institute of Medical Sciences? Is there any institute, Indian Institute of Technology? There is any institute, law institute, like Nalsar? Or in Bangalore, there is a National Law University. So where is the topmost institute? Nothing. Fine, forget about the topmost institute. We want to recreate a Dalit knowledge society, Dalit society, and we need to have a topmost Dalit institute. Do we have? Or when we don't even have, in general, there is a topmost social science institute. How do we have social Dalit institute? We have one institute in Delhi. What is that? What is that? Professor Thorat is the chairman of that. He was Indian Institute of Dalit Studies. Indian Institute of Dalit Studies. It is there, and we need to have more and more. Yes, we need to appreciate our senior generation people like Professor Thorat, Professor Gopal Guru. They all work to create Dalit intellectual capital. Rodrigues, Professor Rodrigues. There are many. Pancharaya, Professor S. Sharam. There are many. My generation already said many names I have taken. Professor Shakti Kumar, JNU, Economics. Professor Shashi Kumar, BBAU. Professor Ravi Kumar, BBAU. Professor Victor Babu, BBAU. There are many. If I have the names, there are many. Professor Ratnam, Professor Ramdas, Hyderabad Central University. There are many. So what I'm trying to say that we need to have our own independent institutes. Exclusively focus on the intellectual reconstructing the society. With what Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is doing. So creating Dalit intellectual capital, that intellectuals reconstruct the Dalit society. That is social capital. Once you have a social capital, I'm assuring you that it's a guaranteed, it's a historical fact, it's a proven fact that once you have a strong social capital, economic capital and political capital run after you. You don't need to create yourself. We need to see If Indian create a system, why Varna system is still continuing effectively? It's a system. It's a system. So coming to the point is that Ambedkar in section 17, today is the section 17 we are talking. Ambedkar was talking about the Chaturvarna system. In the Chaturvarna system, it says that there is no need for Shudras to study. Remember, whenever we talk about Varna system, Trivarna system or Chaturvarna system, Trivarna system only Aryans were the part of the Trivarna system, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya. But Chaturvarna system, even Dravidians are part of the Aryan society. Societies, so we can call Chaturvarna system is not a exclusively Aryan society, it's an Aryan Dravidian society, we can say. It's an Aryan Dravidian society. Trivarna system, only Aryan society. But Chaturvarna system, Aryan Dravidian society. Remember, whenever we are talking about this system, don't take the name of Hindu. Hindu is a religious identity given by the British people. That's very recent. And the very identity, Hindu identity, it came to India only during the Sultanate period. That's a medieval age, medieval period. So don't use that word term Hindu identity. Never use the Hindu identity. You always talk about in terms of Dalit historical perspective is racial perspective. You have to talk in terms of race, not a religion. If you talk about religion, you will get confused and you will be easily defeated by your enemy. Look at the Indian society as a society of races, not as a religions. This is the Dalit historical perspective proposed by the Professor Karunyakara. Dalit historical perspective proposed by the Professor Karunyakara is that Indian society should not be looked in terms of religious identity. Indian society should be looked primarily in terms of races. Racial identity is the primary identity of the Indian society. That is the main foundational principle thesis of Professor Karunyakara when he talks about Dalit historical perspective. Now, Trivarna society, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Aryans. Chaturvarna society, whenever we talk about the Varna system, whenever we talk about the caste system, don't take the name of Hindu. Hindu is a religion. We have to talk about Aryan society, Aryan religion, Aryan culture. Hindu is a new name. It's a very, very new recent name. Hindu has become a religious name only during British time. The Hindu identity itself born only during Sultanate period, during medieval age. So it is a confusing if we talk about Hindu. Of course, Ambedkar talked that, took the Hindu word, because he wanted to reform Hindu society. And at the time of Ambedkar, there was no Indus Valley civilization. So Ambedkar was totally not knowing anything about Indus Valley civilization. So his total historical perspective started with the Vedic, that Aryan literature. So today we have Indus Valley civilization. So again we are talking same mistake we should not do. The mistake which great scholars like Ambedkar also did, it's not a mistake. Even if he was not having this information at his time. That's why his perception is different. Today, we need to revisit Ambedkar's historical perspective. And whatever the Ambedkar methodology, we have to relocate in the context of the Indus Valley civilization. Then we can get the clarity. So now coming back to our thing, in Chaturvarna system, it's not an Aryan system alone. It's a Dravidian society. Because Dravidians joined with the Aryans. It is an alliance. It's a social alliance between the Dravidian Aryans and Dravidians. But that made Aryans to look Shudras as outsiders. But system these three races are whether part of Aryan Varna system, Aryan Dravidian Varna, Chaturvarna system or not. Yes, they are not part of a Aryan Varna system. Dalit, Adivasi, Adivasi Indian society, Dalit Indian society, Mongolian Indian society, that northeastern people. These three races are not part of Varna system. That's a problem, is that whenever we talk about Varna system, we talk as if that's an Indian system. No. We talk about as it's an Indian society. No. Since majority people belong to Chaturvarna system, majority means Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, they are minority. They belong to Trivarna system. But when Dravidians joined it with Aryans, then it has become Chaturvarna system. And Dravidian became Shudra. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, Shudra. Then Chaturvarna system. So Chaturvarna system is in which society? Aryan Dravidian society. Trivarna system is in which society? Only in Aryan society. Remember, this Varna is not a society. Varna is a system. Varna Vyavastha. Vyavastha means system. But system has to be some society. It can't be in the air. Any system in the mission has a system. So in social perspective, society is a mission. So social mission. So what is the system? Varna system. So which society this Varna system is there? It was there originally only Aryan society. In Aryan society, there is a Varna system. It is called Trivarna system. So what is this Trivarna system in Aryan society? In the Trivarna system, Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, these three Varnas are there in the Trivarna system in the Aryan society. These three people together called a Aryan society. They fought among themselves, they loved among themselves, they did among themselves, they married with each other because all of them are Aryans. When Aryans had a political alliance with the Shudras, Dravidians, when the Aryans had a political alliance with the Dravidians, and Dravidians also joined the Aryan society, Varna system. When they joined the Varna system, then society has expanded. Aryan society got expanded. So Aryan Dravidian society. So Aryan Dravidian society together has which system? Chaturvarna system, not a Trivarna system, Chaturvarna system. So Dravidians became Shudra. So initially they were very happy. There are many shlokas. There are many shlokas written by the Brahmins praising the Shudras, accepting the Shudra kings. But over the period of time, what happened? Since originally they are different from each other, Aryans and Dravidians, they fought with each other, cultural conflict. So Shudras, Aryans started treating the Shudras as a lower class, lower Varna. Then what happened? This hierarchy started. This graded inequality started. This whole concept of graded inequality, everything to do with, nothing to do with the Hindu society. It is to do with only Aryan Dravidian society. Because when you say Hindu, then there is also Hindus. Adivasi also Hindus. Some Adivasi have converted to Hindus. Dalits also got converted Hindus. Mongolian race, northeastern people also converted Hindus. Then whole confusion starts. So don't use the term Hindu. Look at the whole system as a racial perspective. That's a Dalit historical perspective. So when Dravidians joined the system, Varna system, they became a part of Aryan society. It means Aryan society got expanded into Aryan Dravidian society. So within this Aryan Dravidian society, which system is there? Chaturvarna system is there. So the whole problem of this Chaturvarna is their headache, not our headache. Not our headache. So we have to understand Ambedkar literature in this context. Ambedkar wrote all his views in the context of the non-availability of Indus Valley civilization. So we need to revisit Ambedkar's ideas and recontextualize Ambedkar ideas in terms of racial perspective. I don't want to give all things about Ambedkar in this lecture. Only I restrict myself to this section. So when Ambedkar talking about in Chaturvarna system, what is the guarantee that Brahmin, Kshatriya and Vaishya, they protect the Shudra interests? Ambedkar was talking. Chaturvarna system said only Brahmin should get education, Kshatriya should protect the society, and Vaishya should involve in the business activities to generate the economy. So Vaishyas will give the money, they will give the finances to run the society, and Kshatriyas will protect the society, law and order, they will take care of Kshatriyas. Vaishyas will take about the money, law and order will be taken by the Kshatriyas, and Brahmins will get the Brahmin will be they will get the education, and they will give the direction to the society. So Brahmins is the intellectual class that gives the direction to the society. Kshatriyas will protect that direction. They take care of law and order, and show the Vaishyas will generate the money. That was the Trivarna society functions. And when this Shudras joined there, these Dravidians joined there, and finally what happened? What was expected from the Shudras? To serve all the Trivarnas. To serve all the Trivarnas. So the whole Varna problem is nothing to do with the Dalits. Dalits have nothing to do with this Varna. Adivasis have nothing to do with Varna. Mongolian Indians have nothing to do with Varna. Dalit Indians, Adivasi Indians, Mongolian Indians have nothing to do with the Varna system. So whole Ambedkar argument, when he talk about a Varna system, he was talking in terms of a Hindu society. But I am relocating that Hindu perspective to racial perspective, Aryan perspective. Why Ambedkar used the term Hindu? Because he was under the impression that there was Aryan, non-Aryan races were there, but as a society, it was only Hindu society he was thinking, because he was not knowing the Indus Valley civilization, because Indus Valley civilization material was not available to him. But it is available to us, the present day historians. So we have to work. Because after Ambedkar, not many Indian Dalit community not able to produce historians. So it is my duty, as a Dalit historian, my duty to read Ambedkar and recontextualize Ambedkar thoughts, Ambedkar methodology, everything in the context of Indus Valley civilization. When I take into account the Indus Valley civilization, when I take into account what the present Aryan is, the followers of Aryanism doing, so I built a methodology, my own methodology, which I would like to call it a Dalit historical methodology, Dalit historical perspective. That gives primacy to the racial identity. So when you look at these are as a races, not as a religion, then you will find in each race there are many religious people. Look at the Brahmins. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya, these are all in races. Within the Brahmin race, there are Hindu Christians, the Brahmin Christians. There are many Brahmin Christians in South India. Why do you think that Christian means only majority Christians are Dalits and Adivasis? It doesn't mean that there are no Brahmin Christians. There are Kshatriya Christians. There are Vaishya Christians. So how do you say that Hindu society is a reality of India? No. Hindu is, if you use the Hindu term as a religion, then you should not use to understand the Indian society. No. Indian society is not a religious society. Indian society by definition is not a religion. Society by definition is a social. So when society is by definition social, what is the social identity? There are only two social identities, race and caste. Religion is not at all a social identity. Religion is a religious identity. Why we forget these basics? We should not forget. That's what Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge is trying to do. It's trying to create a new vocabulary, new perspective, and training the intellectuals to create the intellectual class, intellectual capital. Once this institute creates intellectual capital, that's a system. I don't need to do anything. The institute doesn't no need to do anything. Intellectual class, naturally their duty is to reconstruct the society. Social capital they have to create. Once they create the social capital, naturally Dalit society will have a academic capital and political capital very easily. Very easily. When the child born, child doesn't run. Child crawls on the floor. Then he stands. He or she, the child stands. Then holding the wall, walks little. Then walks freely without any support. Then run. We are directly falling into the trap of political power. How do we get the political power without having the foundation? Whatever our forefathers have done, foundation for our society, because of that we had a political power all these days. Now our political power has become weakened. It has weakened. Our political power has weakened. We need to understand why. Instead of accusing our political leaders why we are accusing, we have become more and more activists. The society needs intellectuals. And to create intellectuals, we need institutions. Like to create engineering, we need engineering institutions. Like that, we need social institutions, intellectual institutions, like a Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. That's what I'm trying to do. So Ambedkars were very clear that if only Brahmins get education, Kshatriyas protect the law and order of the society, Brahmins give the direction to the society by getting education. Kshatriyas are only assigned, Kshatriyas are assigned to protect the law and order and to carry forward, to implement the education, the guidance given by the Brahmins. And Vaishyas finances, give the money to run the society. Shudras only to serve, and Shudras' interest will be taken care of by all the three Aryan Varnas. Ambedkar question is that if they don't take care of, what will happen? First thing, why should we allow only Brahmins to get education? Why can't Shudra get why can't Shudras get education? Why can't they get Shudras get education? Ambedkar was questioning that. There is no answer from the Varna people, Varna supporters. They will say that no, there is no need for the Shudras to get education. Brahmin, Kshatriya, Vaishya will take care of it. Ambedkar said no, everyone should get education. Everyone should take up their own occupations as per their capability. That's why Ambedkar totally rejects this Varna system. And Ambedkar says that everywhere in the whole Europe there is a revolution, social revolution. Why there was no social revolution in India? Ambedkar says that there was no social revolution in India because of the Varna system. Varna didn't allow the Shudras to get education. That is the reason Shudras never able to question the system, the dominance of three Varnas. Hence Ambedkar says that Shudras should get the education. He says that if you become an army officer, if Shudras also become an army officer, they will have the power of the weapons. He says that physical weapon, you have a physical weapon. If you are suffering, since Shudras are suffering, you can get the political weapon. If you get education, you will get the moral weapon. He is talking in the context of Shudras. So Ambedkar very clearly says that in the history there is only one period, that's the Maurya rule, in which period Varna system was totally annihilated. Ambedkar was of the view that during the Maurya period was a golden age, and during Maurya period there was an annihilation of totally rooting out of, throwing out of the destroying Varna system. That's what's Ambedkar's opinion. Then after the Maurya period declined, then Varna system got revived. That's what Ambedkar said. So this is what Ambedkar was talking about, section 16. Now we look at that, instead of Hindu society, we relocate it a racial way, racial perspective, that in the Dalit perspective, then races comes. Why I want to see, look at that the whole problem as a Hindu society problem. I want to look at it as a problem of a race. Varna system is a system of Aryan Dravidian society. It's Aryan Dravidian society. It is a Dalit society, Dalit Indian society, Adivasi Indian society, Mongol Indian society are out, nothing to do with. They are not part of Aryan Dravidian society. Because Varna system in the society, first try to understand. Any system in the mission, physically, any mission. For example, you take, you go to any industry, there is a big machinery. Like for example, computer is a system. A computer is not a system. Computer is a hardware. Within that, there is a software. Software is a system. Computer is a machine. Computer is a machine. It's a hardware. Machine is made with a hardware material. Within the computer, there is a software. Software is a system. Microsoft, it's a system. You understand? The same way, our society is a hardware. How is the hardware? Society consisting of people. People in terms of races also. Because social identity is a race is a social identity. Caste is a social entity. But what is the system? System is Varna system. So in which society? Varna system, is there Varna system within the Dalit society? Is there Dalit Brahmins? Is there Dalit Kshatriyas? Is there Dalit Vaishyas? Is there Dalit Shudras? No. Varna system is there in the Adivasi society? Is there Adivasi Brahmins? Is there Adivasi Vaishyas? Is there Adivasi Shudras? No. Varna system is not there in Mongolian society, northeastern people. Varna system only in the Aryan society. Later on, it expanded to Aryan Dravidian society. When Dravidians joined the Aryan society, actually Dravidians became part of the Aryan society, Aryan system. So that society is called Aryan Dravidian society. Two societies came together. So Aryan Dravidian society, there is a Chaturvarna system. In the Aryan society, there was only Trivarna system. Aryan Dravidian society, there is a Chaturvarna system. In the Chaturvarna system, Shudras, the Dravidians became lower Varna. So the whole Manusmriti talk about more about Shudras. It's nothing, it talks very less about the untouchables. So it is not our problem. It's not our problem. Now we have to change. We have to give a total gigantic shift in our perspective. Whatever our forefathers have written, whatever Baba Saheb Ambedkar written in his lectures, all these things we need to look from the Dalit historical perspective. Then only we can have a clarity. Otherwise, you never go into game. You never go into this game. Why? Because they always says that you are Hindu. Now today what they are doing, they are dividing the Hindu Mahars and Hindu Buddhist Mahars. See, they are going to, when you cannot win on the basis of Hindu identity, I am telling you. They are always going to win. If you want to win this game, social game, you have to adopt Dalit historical perspective framed by Professor Karunyakara. The Dalit historical perspective says that this perspective can be adopted by the even Adivasi also. And Shudras also. They want to, if they want, they can come out of the Aryan society. But it is their headache, not our headache. It's not Dalit headache to reform the Shudras, to reform the Varna society. I'm only talking about the Varna. I'm not talking about here caste or untouchability. I'm not talking about caste or untouchability, because in this section, Ambedkar talked, section 15, section 16, Ambedkar was talking about Varna. Of course, section 17 also he was talking about Varna. Today we are talking about section 16. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm exclusively talking about how Ambedkar's perspective need to be recontextualized in terms of Dalit perspective. Why? Because Dalit perspective is based on Indus Valley civilization facts, fact of existence of Indus civilization. Whereas Ambedkar's perspective of 30 years, if Ambedkar alive today, naturally he would also adopt the Indus Valley civilization as a fact. Whether I don't know whether what I'm talking, maybe Ambedkar is talking, Baba Ambedkar says same thing or not, that's a different. But one thing is guaranteed, that Ambedkar certainly takes Indus Valley civilization as a base of his historical perspective. But Ambedkar could not take it because at the time Indus Valley civilization information was not available to Dr. Baba Ambedkar. That's why nowhere he didn't mention. If that is the fact, still I am sitting here just because of Ambedkar talk in 1936 or 1919. 1916 you are talking about the caste in India. 1936 he talked about the annihilation of caste. Simply, what is that? By hearting. Like, kids read, 1 plus 1 is equal to 2, 2 plus 2 is equal to 4. Like that, I am repeating the Ambedkar's ideas. It's not going to help us. It's not going to create an intellectual class. Then for that, if we want to do that, we have to go back to 1936. Or we have to go back to 1916. Are we living in the 1936? Are we living in the 1916? We are living in the 2026. When you are living the 2026, reading Ambedkar book, any book, only for the sake of reading means you are reading during British time. You are reading British time. You are living in a British time. But Dalit idea is not to go back even one day back. We don't believe in going back. We believe in going ahead. Those who says that no, we'll go back to Buddha age, we'll go back to Vedic age, we'll go back to Indus Valley civilization. No, Dalit perspective is not that. Dalit philosophy is not backward. Dalit philosophy is always forward, going ahead. Dalit thought never says that go back. Dalit thought always says that go front, go ahead. Baba Saheb Ambedkar Constitution of India today is very alive because that is written for the post-independence India. But whatever Ambedkar was talking about these things, that we have to relocate. I'm not saying that we have to ignore Ambedkar thought. No, I am an Ambedkar follower. Ambedkar was a follower of Pule, but Ambedkar constructed new ideas. He didn't stop with the Pule. He didn't stop with the Mahatma Pule. He constructed new ideas. So I'm a follower of Ambedkar, but I should not stop with the Baba Saheb Ambedkar, particularly when it comes to historical thought, because history research is newly available for us, which was not available during Ambedkar time. So, my dear friends, why I'm saying all these things? To gain credibility to what I'm talking. Simply I say that I'm saying this. Why should you follow me? Why should you listen to me? But I have to, when there is a differences of methodology, then we have to say that why I'm giving a new methodology, why I'm reconstructing a Dalit historical methodology. Because I am taking total Ambedkar views, Ambedkar thoughts. I am just recontextualizing in a different methodology, different perspective, on the basis, since we have information about Indus Valley civilization. So, my dear friends, this is what today's lecture. Thank you very much. Jai Bhim, Jai Bharat.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, sir, for explaining us a very important topic, that is Varna system, and how the Dalit society and the scholars should see the Varna system and the identities of Hindu identity and the caste identity and the religious identity. So I really thank you, sir. So do we go for a question answer session? You are mute, sir.
Uh, any only one question, or we can go some other time because actually I am in a hurry to go to somewhere.
Yeah, okay.
So we can have some other time.
Okay, thank you, sir. So we are now in the last part of our lecture, that is vote of thanks. So I really thank the participant who regularly attending the and being a part of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge. Also, I like to thank Professor Dr. Leela Karunyakara sir to be a founder of the Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge and also give us a platform and lectures that is very important for the society and the academic field. I also thank the coordinator of Karunyakara Institute of Dalit Knowledge, that is, and that are Dr. Sukeshni Thorat, Dr. Darshana Meshram, Dr. Smita Bhagat, Dr. Mr. Vijay Kumre, Mr. Shreyat Sambodhi, and Mr. Shashikant. I thanks all of them. Also, I like to ask you to, if there is if you miss something in a lecture or the previous lecture, please go and check our YouTube link. That is Dalit Knowledge YouTube channel. You are going to get all the lectures till now, and also this lecture is also going to be uploaded there. So I request you to please go and check and also share it and also subscribe it. So with this thing, I ask this today's meeting is officially over, and we are going to meet on next Saturday with the other part of the Annihilation of Caste lecture. Thank you. Bye bye. Take care to all.